Hey folks, welcome to another episode of the Security Table. This is Chris Romeo, joined as always by Matt Coles, Izar Tarandosh, the doctors of AI. I'm trying to think
Clear.
once again. Yeah, there you go. Charging. I don't know if you guys have watched this, but I've been watching this show called The Pit.
Yep.
On HBO Max, so I'm basically a medical expert. No.
I'm sorry, you didn't attend the School of ER?
I was going to say,
I did,
or
but
Chicago
ER was
Hope.
so yeah, those are so dramatic. This is actually feels very real. Like, and my daughter's a nurse, and she said they're consulting with doctors and nurses and everything in the production of this show to make it as realistic as possible. Like all the equipment they're using is real.
You know that ER basically did the same with Michael Crichton as the...
Yeah, but ER was not... ER became a dramatic Grey's Anatomy. I mean, I watched ER for all the seasons.
ER predated Grey's Anatomy by some amount of time. So
I mean, it was the same. It's what people... I mean,
I'm there
most
just for
people
the machine that
listening...
goes ping.
Yeah, most people listening would have no idea what ER is. It's just kind of made a comeback now.
Yeah, we're old. Yeah.
With The Pit. It's made a comeback. It's popping up on people's feeds now.
I remember that there was that child actor, Clooney something.
Clooney.
Yeah,
well, wait, hold on. If Clooney was the child actor, then what was Noah Wiley?
He was a baby.
He was in the episode about the lady that was pregnant. He played the baby.
Wasn't Will Wheaton on that show too?
Was he?
It was a joke.
Oh,
who? Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Oh,
Wesley Crusher.
He's everywhere.
He might have been beamed in for an episode or something.
Well, we know that if you're talking about medical series, there's only actually two that are worth watching. Okay. House and Doogie Howser.
House
is one of my
what was it with
favorites.
Doogie Howser?
Doogie Howser.
You know, House actually has a lot of applicability to cybersecurity, because what is the thing that he like builds into every one of his residents? What's the lesson?
Trust the patient.
Everybody lies.
Yeah. I've been referred to as the house of computer sometime in the past.
With the Vicodin or without the Vicodin?
Without the Vicodin. Okay. Monster is my drug.
And the limp.
But
and the
proudly so. Proudly so, you know. Proudly so.
Okay, that would be a good t-shirt. I am the house MD of cybersecurity.
Every agent lies.
Ooh.
Speaking of which, I'm working on the t-shirts for Vienna. So if our listener in Australia has ideas, hit me up.
Now, if the listener in Australia comes to Vienna for the conference, will you give out a t-shirt?
He gets a t-shirt.
He or she. We don't know who's.
It's not a security table.
Who's on the other end?
You'll have to work on the security table somehow into the t-shirt then.
Yeah, because that makes it worth a lot less.
Well, we know what happened with the last security table t-shirt.
Well,
I threat model, therefore I am angry in Latin.
I trust model, therefore run.
It's true. All right, well, I got to get something else off my chest here. Like, we're sitting here on Monday, March 23rd. This is the Monday of RSA week, and it's the first time I haven't been there in 11 years.
Wow.
Have you been hit already by the tremens of RSA? Do you feel the need for us to send you swag?
Yeah,
FedEx?
Send me some meeting requests that are meaningless.
Do you want us to send you some email asking if you want to get more details after we finish here?
That would be great, actually.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of questions.
How many dinners would you like to be invited to that you can't attend?
That I won't attend. No, I mean, the part I'm going to miss is like Brooke and I had a tradition of either doing lunch or dinner. Yeah, where at Fang restaurant and incredible food. And the funny thing is we very seldom talked about cybersecurity in those. So it was a tradition that I'm going to miss this year. because I'm just not there.
Oof.
And I don't know if he's there either, but we weren't always both there.
We'll have a schnitzel in Vienna in honor of the tradition.
You guys, it's not this. It won't be the same.
It won't be the same.
I'm looking forward to schnitzel in Vienna.
That is schnitzel.
I have to be honest.
Don't get me wrong, schnitzel's money, but like our Fang tradition was, and I've told this story before. I'm going to tell it again because I want to. When we scheduled to go there the first time, like 7 years ago or something, I somehow had this strange impression that Brooke, when he's telling me what he used to live in San Francisco, and somehow I just assumed that he used to go to this restaurant all the time. Turns out he had only been there once before. But in the narrative in my head is Brooke's been in here. He's a regular here. The chef knows him. And so the first time we're there, we got about 6 or 7 people. Brooke's daughter's there. A couple other folks. My wife was there. And so Brooke calls over chef, asks for chef to come to the table. Now chef in this case is a Michelin star chef. Like he's the real deal. He dresses like a normal person. There's no air about him. Like when I hear Michelin star, I think somebody's going to have like an entourage and they're going to be like,
the big hat.
Super like, you can't speak to them. That's chef. Super down to earth guy. He comes over and Brooke looks at him and says, chef, would you make us a most tasty meal? And the chef starts grabbing the menus and he looks and he's like, any allergies? We're like, no. And he's like, okay. And then he starts sending out dish after dish after dish. Just like I refer to it as a symphony of food. Like he's planning these dishes in order based on flavor profiles and things that I don't understand. I couldn't order them again because I have no idea what they were. I mean, they told us like what kind of base they were when they came out. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, wow, Brooke his relationship with this guy, like having known him for years and years, really opened up this door for us. And then I asked him later and he's like, I've only been here once before.
Well, okay. So both could be true. He could have only been there once, but he might have known him from elsewhere.
No, he didn't.
No.
He didn't. It was I
That
had
is not how
invented this
Brooke
story in
operates.
my mind that created. But yeah, so then every year that we were both at RSA, we would revisit Fang. One time they were filming a reality show because why not? They were filming some type of food reality show. We had to sign a waiver out front to go in and sit down and eat that we could be in the back of the reality show. And all they were doing was B-roll footage. So like they had like waiters and waitresses like walking down the aisle quickly, carrying empty trays that had things on top. And like we were in the background, and I never did find the show to know if we actually made it into the B-roll of this reality show. Okay. So that's the story though.
It's a good story.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites. It's
So, your stories. Where are we going today?
All right, let's talk about this Medium article. Well, it's not a Medium article. It sounds like I'm a Gen Z person if I say this is so Medium. I think I might have started something there. They don't say that though.
I've been reading. I've been reading Medium for a long time, and I still haven't contacted anybody on the other side. I still haven't heard any future predictions that are worth it.
That is a seriously good dad joke that we just went with there. All right. The article says the security risk nobody talks about with AI agents. And the gist of this is that AI agents are people too from a security perspective.
What's really weird is I linked that article and I can't find it.
It's on the
I can't search for it. You can't search for it. It doesn't show up. Oh, I know why. Because my browser switched to Yahoo. What the hell is Yahoo now?
Wait, hold on, stop.
I knew that was going to trigger someone.
Yahoo what? What did you tell me more? I need more context. Your browser switched to Yahoo. What? Yahoo Mail? Yahoo Search?
So I did something stupid. I let McAfee, my AV engine, filter the web for me briefly. because I'm never making that mistake again.
On purpose?
And its default engine, no matter how much you want it to be something else, is yahoo.com.
Which interestingly, it brings us back to Brooke, because Brooke used to be the security architect at McAfee. So it could be that he's the one who said you should use Yahoo.
It's what It's what all the kids are using these days.
Yeah.
What would you get from Yahoo at this point?
I get a quick link to Google. It's like Bing, right? The first thing you do when you install Windows is you use Bing to go to Google and get Chrome.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. That was just it caught me off guard when somebody said, I use Yahoo. And I'm like, yeah, I used to use Yahoo. It was in 1999, maybe?
For a second there, Chris was thinking it's time to buy Bitcoin.
Oh, dude, I'm all in on Bitcoin. Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin arbitrage show. Get ready for a new episode.
No, seriously. If it was the time that everybody was using Yahoo, then it was the right time to buy it.
Yeah, if we would have all bought Bitcoin in 1999, we would have our yachts. Here. We'd be recording this from one of our yachts as we were parked next to each other in the Bahamas or something.
Actually, or you would have spent 10,000 Bitcoin on a pizza.
True, that did happen.
That
was a very expensive pizza that I bought. But
yes, that would be what 600,000 right now? No, 700,000.
70,000 a coin right now.
Times 10,000.
$700,000 pizza. That thing better have been good. That's all I'm saying.
Pineapple and mushroom.
Okay. So
fruit and fungus.
This article then. Do we agree that AI agents are, I guess the way they describe it, become an actor inside your infrastructure? Let's start there.
So I do want to highlight that this is the second time this article has been written in the past month on Medium. So I just found, while I was searching on Yahoo for a non-existent article, I found
for something that nobody talks about, that's pretty frequent.
Yeah. So the article we want to talk about is the security risk nobody talks about with AI agents. And there's the other article, which is AI agents are the new security risk nobody talks about.
Well, I guess both of the titles are false.
Yes, but one of them is member walls as opposed to the other one is open.
Yeah. Well, I don't believe in paywalls. So.
That's the one that used the more verbose agent to write.
Mm-hmm.
This one is the cheap one.
Mm-hmm. Right. But I mean,
to go with the one which is the privacy risk nobody talks about when using agentic AI.
I'm going to write an article about this, about summarizing all the things people don't apparently seem to know. But do we agree with this? Like, is an AI agent part of the infrastructure?
Well,
or an actor? Are they an actor?
It's not a matter if we agree or not. It's a matter of it's happening. People are putting these things everywhere. Like, it's the new duct tape.
Let's just assume for a moment that an AI agent is a system process, which it is. We give identities to system processes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Service accounts exist. Why would we treat them? Why should we treat them differently?
We shouldn't treat them different from a point of view of identity. Each one of them has to have an identity.
Yeah.
We have to treat them differently in terms of life cycle, because their capabilities may not change per versioning. They may change per environment.
Well, here's an interesting question. Are AI agents, as you spin up and down agents, right? Agents, you have a main loop, agents start, and you form a pool of agents if you're going to do agent work. Are they independent processes? Do they fork the process?
If you're doing it right, they have to, because otherwise one is going to be stopping the other. So you have to have them as independent processes. Does that lead to different identities? That's another question to be asked.
Well, because they may have different roles, right? They may may
now
need to do different things.
Roles. Yeah.
And they may have different lifetimes.
Are AI agents that complicated now?
And wait. They may not be forks. You could just be contacting another agent of the network, and it's a completely different ecosystem, completely different thing. No more than a client and server. So to Chris' question, we may be overcomplicating something that we already know very well, which is any fork, any client server architecture
has the same privileges and access as any other one that's in the same kind of category or same identity
as any that it was given.
Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't expect to see very complicated role, like an agent being broken down into multiple roles and giving up privileges at this stage in different segments of itself.
Well, if you have
like a least privileged
if you have
agent.
if you have one agent that's doing research and one agent that's actually writing an output, they have very different expectations of what they can do.
Yeah, but that's like saying one application does research and one application does something else, right?
But
my point is they don't, like, that single agent, I think, has the same access credentials at this stage for whatever that agent is doing.
There's a problem that we keep falling into when talking about AI, which is the overuse of certain words. Context, for sure, and now role. Because, as Matt said, you can have a pool of agents. Do they have a name for a gaggle of agents, a crowd of agents,
Swarm.
an agency of agents?
Swarm sounds good.
Something. So you can have one of those, and then every agent has a role inside that level of ecosystem, right? Let's call it the business level of what they're doing. So one is a writer, one is a reader, one is a critic, the other one just eats popcorn. But
how many TCPs do they run under?
How many?
How many TCPs do they run under?
Matt throwing out the old school trusted computing base.
Right.
For those people that don't know what TCP stands for, it's not taking care of business, like Elvis said.
Then you have the role inside of the TCP, and then you have the role inside whatever cloud, whatever they run, or the role that gives them, that they assume in order to get permissions to do the stuff that they need to do.
But they all inherit the same permissions then?
Not necessarily. If you fork them,
they're running under one context or multiple contexts, right?
Yeah, but if they are completely separated processes contacting just over whatever protocol you put in place, then not really. They may be part of the same swarm and have different roles inside that swarm, and at the same time have different roles inside their whatever orchestration they work in, right? But at the end of the day, I think that from an identity point of view, it's not very different from thinking of them as separate users or separate some things. But my point is that it's not an abstraction that we don't know. There's no point in romanticizing this thing and saying, oh, it's a completely different thing. We need new controls. We need new frameworks. We need new threat modeling frameworks. No, you just use whatever you already have. I mean, as I like to say, 10-year-olds running with Caesars, but you're going to relate to them the same way that you relate to the things that you have today. They're not magical.
So the article goes in kind of the next phase to say that folks are trying to secure AI with things like prompt restrictions, output filters, behavior monitoring. But the real challenge when it comes to agentic AI is access. Because AI agents have credentials, they have tokens, they have API keys, and they can interact with real systems. So it's almost like what we're describing here is a kind of a two-phase approach to securing the world of AI.
It always has been.
Yeah. But you have to secure the interaction with the AI, and then you have to secure the access that the AI has to the other systems around it.
Right. Now replace AI with application.
I can't remember that far back to repeat what I just said.
or replace agent with just AI. I mean, this is not a new thing, right? It's amazing that this article exists, that it has to exist, actually. That
yeah, but
people have to be reminded.
AI has been moving so quickly that we think about all of the past technological inflections that we've been a part of in our careers. There's been time to stop and think. And I mean, even think about cloud, right? How much time did we have to figure out how to secure cloud? It took us years.
How much time did we have, or how much time did we use?
How much time did we use? Yeah, we didn't have years, but we used years to figure out there's a tail on Matt's video screen.
Nessie.
Just putting up a show. But yeah, so with AI though, I don't hate the fact that somebody wrote this article because it is stating what we can say, oh, well, duh, this is obvious. Everybody should know this. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think everybody knows this at this point.
But that why?
But
it's
not
because things are moving so fast right now. People are yes, everybody's going to say security is important, but people are focusing on velocity, and AI is changing week to week. We know this.
Look,
so
about a year ago, we had that discussion about prompt injection. Yes or no? Is it a security problem? And I think that where we landed was that prompt injection was not a problem. Agency was. Over agency was. And this article actually just states basically the same. The problem with agents is what you're letting them get away with doing or not doing.
Right.
Right. So
agents are basically children. They're just
that's what it said.
With scissors, apparently.
With scissors. Yeah.
Okay.
But
because they can delete your file system.
Right. My point is that what's getting out of control right now for me is that, okay, we gave them agency. Right. Great. But now that we have, back when we spoke about this, we were talking about, okay, you go into your whatever client, talk to your LLM, the LLM knows how to do some stuff, so that stuff gets done. But now that they have agents running in loops and tools that are at the disposal of the agent, and the agent gets to decide how to use the tool and what to do with the tool, then my problem with securing AI becomes a bit different. We have now to look at two levels of, let's call it, for the lack of a better word, logic. You have whatever's happening in the code that you are using to write your agent, which, be very surprised, people, still exists. You have to write code. Actual agents are written in Python and other stuff. But then you have to look at the logic that's present in the prompts that are inside that implementation of an agent. So if in the past we would look at another name for what this article is implying, feature creep, and say, okay, you have code, and now somebody added another a function that does XYZ that we don't like, but we can threat model this thing. We can see that it's going in that direction. We can say, okay, let's do it differently. But now, not in the code, somebody can change a prompt, and all of a sudden the prompt opens this whole window of opportunity for that thing to use tools that are at its disposal to go and do other things, which are non-deterministic, unpredictable, happen, don't happen in perhaps the order that we expect or otherwise. That's what gives me pause. Because now I'm talking to developers at two different levels. I need to know when you are adding stuff to your agent in terms of what it can do. And I need to know when you add stuff to your agent in terms of things that it thinks that it might want to do.
Or have been given access to, or
Exactly.
liberty to do.
So now the least privilege plays a different role in terms of, it's not only a principle in terms of, yeah, sure, you should do this in order not to be exploited. But it's a moving target because the things that somebody may want their agent to be able to do will require more privilege over time. And that privilege is going to be used and exploited in different ways that may not be completely deterministic or clear to us, and that you may not be able to scan for. Scan for an evil, scan for an open.
Doesn't that imply that the agent's going to go rogue? Or that the AI is going to go rogue if it uses its permissions to do something that you weren't intending it to do?
My problem with rogue is that, to me, and I could be wrong, not an English speaker, to me it implies intent.
So you think it's going to be AI is going to accidentally do naughty things if we're using the children?
I think that it may. And I think that the main problem here is that we don't know when we cross that line from may not to may.
Doesn't that require artificial general intelligence, though?
I think that it only requires a bad written prompt.
Or a trick. Right. I mean, so if
there's still, so in the examples you're using, there's still a human behind the nefarious activity.
Well, or another agent who prompts agent A prompts agent B to do something. That doesn't mean there's AGI. That just means
at the request of another human in this example that
you're
using.
Or other input.
The human may start with intent in one direction, but for the collection of tools that are available to the agent, for the way that the prompts have been written, for the input that it has received from yet another non-deterministic system, the stars may align in such a way that it goes and erases your database.
Well, so here's an interesting question. Can agents, we already know agents can write files on the file system.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming, so this is maybe a limit of my technical knowledge, there's the tool-based approach, but it's also a Python process usually. So Python has obviously read-write capabilities. And in fact, the process that you're running, when you run it as a user, whether that's a human or a system user, almost certainly has been granted read-write privileges. At the very least, read, and almost certainly write just by omission of the removal of that. So can AI agents rewrite their own prompts? Their system prompts or whatever. In other words, can they grant themselves additional capabilities?
So I've seen, for example, Claude skills that try to optimize Claude skills. Does that count as writing your own prompts? I don't think so, because then you have to get out of it and get it to read the skills again and this and that and the other one. The point is, and I'm just like thinking aloud about what you just said. Don't take this as authoritative in any way. There's nothing stopping an agent from writing text that will eventually be interpreted by the same agent or a different one as a prompt, which is the whole point of automated prompt injection and whatnot, right? So if you take this a step back, when you have two agents talking, basically what you have is them writing prompts to each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point of their interaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
The question here, and again, just thinking aloud, we are tending to, and here comes the long word,
anthropomorphizing.
Thank you. the things, and say they have intent, they have goals, they have this, they have that, they think about how they go. They don't. Let's make that very clear. They may have goals that are stated in a prompt, but they're not thinking how they get there.
That's what I was trying to tease out.
They're throwing the coin and seeing what's the next best word to get close to that point in the latent space.
Right, but they could come up with a reasonable response to a question or an idea that a human has, because they initiate the process, but through the various processing steps, do something different. And that something different may be, it may think in its process, I don't have enough information, I need more, and expand its capability.
So if you go into Claude and I'm just throwing Claude because it's the one that I've been using lately. The other ones must be the same way. And you put it in plan mode, and you say, let's build something that does ABC. And I think it's Shift O or Control O or something like that. And you see its internal dialogue. The impression that you have is that you are looking inside the head of somebody who's thinking very hard about the thing that you just asked. The things that it goes back and forth. Oh, I'm going to do this. No. Actually, I'm going to do that. No. The other one, right? So it's very interesting from the point of view of it looks like an internal dialogue and it's valid. It looks very authoritative. It could be completely wrong. While doing that, you are going to see it saying, oh, I know how to do this. I have a tool to do that. And it's evaluating, should I use this? Should I use the other one?
By the way, it's knowing that because it has been given a description of that tool.
Yes.
Right. Which could itself be wrong.
Training data.
Yes.
Well, not training data.
It's part of the context.
Yeah.
The initial context that goes up. Actually, in Claude, I just learned this weekend. If you type /context, it will break up the parts of the context that it has right now in telling you how many tokens are taken by tools, how many tokens are taken by your question, by the. It's really interesting to look at that there's a lot of stuff to learn there. But the point is that at the end of the day, it's thinking context to context. They don't have memory in between that. At least the way that I understand it. So it could be that in the next round, it's going to think something different about the same tool because information changed, because it went to a different space, a different point in the latent space. And we go back to the agency thing. Okay, so you let it do stuff. And right now, my main point of laughing is, yeah, sure, nobody's going to say, go without any restrictions, do your thing and come back with results, or nobody should. But on the other hand, the option is to be pressing enter every 30 seconds. And nobody is reading all that stuff that they are pressing enter to.
It's like the EULA.
But yeah, exactly. They are feeling good because all of a sudden they are the human in the loop. I'm in control.
Read the EULAs.
If I have to fall asleep, me too. But I don't read more important contracts.
So let's get back to this. If you have that, if that's what happens in an AI agent, and all those agents have the ability to be independently doing that, and they all have independent needs and expectations and obligations and constraints that we want to put on them, they should all be individual identities.
Yes and no. Right? If you have if you put a bunch of people inside a room and give them bits and pieces and tell them build something, you might have one of them that takes leadership and says this is the plan. You might have one of them that is the glue person, one of them that is the cutting person, one of them that is the other. Inside that room, all of them may have all the same permissions. You could interchange between them without changing the final product.
They may not all have the same capabilities, though.
Yeah,
and that's what makes them human.
Right, but in theory, they might all be interchangeable people. They just happen to be a group of 10 people, all of them with the same capabilities, all of them with the same tools. And they just throw a coin and say, I'm the one who's designing, I'm the one who's gluing, I'm the one who's cutting.
We need some Pink Floyd, and I'm not a big Pink Floyd fan, but we need some Pink Floyd here.
Just another brick in the wall.
We don't have the budget to play that in the background. So audience listeners, could you
imagine that you're hearing
that right now, or play it from your own streaming service right now?
Right. But the point is that it's hard for me to put a model on top of the whole thing and say this is how it should be without actually running a threat model. Because there will be cases of, yes, everybody's in the room. There will be cases of, no, everybody gets a different room. And so they need different levels of access or different levels of agency. But of all the things that are in this risk that gets never talked about, which, by the way, gets talked about all the time, the thing that I'm trying to keep in my mind right now, how to address, how to search for is these two levels of addressing the feature creep and what are my developers going to do next of the code and the prompt. And that's something that I haven't gotten any good answers to. And please, nobody send me an email saying, can you come and see our system? We want your opinion for 15 minutes only after this, because no.
Well, I mean, you're available. It just costs $5,000
or one Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
for that 15-minute meeting.
Just because I haven't gone to RSA doesn't mean that I won't be getting email.
That's true. That's true. All right, let me kind of wrap this article up here, because there's the last point in the article I really want to discuss real quickly before we wrap up. But if we go through the conclusions, treat AI agents like real users. So AI agents should have to change their password at the same frequency that all the rest of us do. Which would be hilarious. They're like,
what?
30-day password change. Like, what are you? The AI is like opening a support ticket. This is stupid. This is the policy. Control access, not just behavior. I mean, I think we're going to agree with that. The rise of shadow AI. We don't have time to talk about shadow AI today, but
I think that's a red herring in this article, because it really has nothing to do with the rest of it.
Completely.
Security must consider intent. I mean, we never do that. So that's just bad advice.
What you intend versus
AI agents need life cycle governance. Like, I'm seeing all of this fancy governance word. Everybody's throwing this around. It's
compliance it's compliance over risk.
But it used to be contained right within the GRC framework that we were doing and whatnot.
The G.
And now it almost seems like it's made a comeback though. Because it's one of the new hot things out there. Like, what does your AI lifecycle governance look like? Like, is it something that we actually need to be spending this much time on? Is it that different?
It is something that connects to something that we had some episodes ago when we said that everything was boring.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I think what I'm seeing actually is that for a long time, developers were bored. I'm writing one more CRUD system. I'm writing one more dashboard. I'm writing one more of this. And all of a sudden, this shiny pebble fell in front of them. And it's thrilling. It's things move even faster, and people are afraid this thing can do my job. Oh, no, it can't. And I think that the governance resurgence that you've been seeing is just security people trying to take control. Sorry, not to take control.
Did you just say to take governance?
No. To take look, things are happening way, way, way too fast for teams that were already overloaded.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this AI governance resurgence, not this resurgence of governance over AI, is happening mostly because security teams are like, dude, this is moving too fast. We have absolutely no control. We don't know what's happening here. It's getting scared. Everybody slow down. Let's make lists. Right? Everybody now, let's make lists.
That's what we do in times of trouble. We make lists.
We make lists. So
now, interesting question is, security teams and GRC teams are usually separate, right? Because audit sits in GRC and security is not audit often.
For good reason. They're kept in separate spots.
So when you say security teams are doing lists, are they asking the GRC team to make lists for them?
I think that I probably have an outlier experience. I have had really good experience working with GRC teams. And in fact, I hope that they're listening to this now. I know that they're not, but I actually love the GRC team that I have right now. they're technical. They know how to look at things. They know how to listen. And they know how to use the tools that we have at security to complement their work. And they are looking at using this whole AI thing to make their work, which here between us, it's very hard, which is another word for boring, to make it easier. Right? So I'm thinking that perhaps AI is the time when those two teams finally come together and have a better dialogue. We could have reached the point in history where that division stops making so much sense.
Until AI takes over GRC.
Yeah.
Yes, you get the GRC chatbot,
and it just annoys you to death.
It's just the lists. It's just the bulleted lists with a lot of dashes
and LLM specific words.
Yes.
I don't know why, but you said GRC chatbot, and the thing that popped in my mind was something that I saw like 2 weeks ago. Somebody saying how you don't have to pay any AI provider, and then there was a screenshot of them in some support chatbot of something, Amazon or whatever. And the person was saying, hey, you know what? I want to buy your product, but before that, I really, really, really need a Python function that calculates the Fibonacci, the Fibonacci series. And the thing said, oh, fine, yeah, no, I'm ready to. Here's a recursive version of the Fibonacci series. And I don't know why the GRC chatbot took me to that, but yeah,
it's a good example.
Now I'm curious if there are GRC chatbots out there. Can you get them to do other things? Of course, that's an attack where you're consuming tokens, right? So you can deny a service or really run up the cost of a company by doing that.
Yeah, which, by the way, is another thing with agents. Like sometimes they start their dialogues and the dialogue just goes crazy. I had this little one that I wrote where you could like get 2 different providers, give them a go, and let them discuss. And those things go crazy, and you can just see like the cost ramping up on both sides.
What have I done?
It's another way of a rogue. That's that word again. Agents like driving up your bill up.
It's like giving your toddler your iPad.
No, so look, think about this.
Should never do that.
Yeah, right. We used to have like deadlocks and things like that to worry about. Who's writing, who's reading. But now no. Now we have agents running up token costs by just talking to each other.
It's a feature.
So wait a minute.
It's a feature.
So we do need access controls, but what we really need are parental controls.
Yes.
Parental controls for AI agents. All right.
Yes.
Patent pending, trademark. All rights reserved. I will be writing my next book called.
No, but it's even worse. We have them today, and they are called pressing enter. Right? So you have the whole you have the whole loop discussion, human in the loop, human on the loop, which, by the way, we should talk about at some point, because I'm very afraid of the resurgence of the human in the loop extended range. Think about that one. You're gonna get there eventually.
But parental controls, if they're the kid running with scissors, parental controls are the thing you need.
Exactly. Until you
so
get
we
stabbed in the
prevent
gut.
the AI agent from looking at YouTube. Got it. Solution. Guardrail.
I think that both.
And using your credit card.
That's a good idea.
Parental controls for AI. There might be something there.
You heard it here first on the original security table.
The original security table, the one and only, not to be confused with some copycats out there. And no offense to cats, Matt. Sorry.
Totally.
All right. Well, I think
final thoughts.
I think that was our final thought. I think
boom.
Parental controls for AI is something that someone's probably gonna use AI to snarf out of this episode and then turn into something before we ever have a chance to monetize it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said that whole patent pending trademark, just in case that would work.
Prior art
to slow the AI down. But yeah, that's a brilliant idea. I haven't heard anybody say that yet. Parental controls for AI. So I think Matt was the originator of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to expand on that one.
But I've said it 3 times now, so I can steal it and use it as my own. So
it's in the transcript.
Strategy.
But with attribution, yeah.
Only 2 times you have to give retribution.
Retribution.
Third time it's your own.
Attribution, not retribution.
Retribution. You got me there. I just
contribution.
Contribution. I'm trying to think of some other butions. All right, Matt's the king of the butions. he can really get those words. I can't think of another one to top bution.
You could use AI to figure that.
I could, but that takes the fun. That's the problem with this world, Matt, is that everybody uses AI for things that they used to use their brain for. And so here's your homework, audience. AI attribution. Okay, here's your homework. All 3 of us have watched this. If you haven't watched it, go watch Idiocracy and then come back and realize this is the future of using AI. We will eventually reach this level
you
of
see,
not being able to think.
That's another form of feature creep. Idiocracy started as a comedy, ended up as a documentary.
Yeah.
Without changing anything.
Source Wall-E 2, right? Not the second edition of, but Wall-E.
Wall-E also.
It's got electrolytes.
Yeah, I mean, you can put Gatorade on the crops and they should grow. But yeah, Idiocracy is but that's where AI is taking us, though, right?
It is.
Like, people don't think anymore about simple problems. They just put it in AI and get the answer to it.
Yep.
And we could talk about that for a whole episode, because that's a dangerous
skill degradation and the whole works.
Because you can start with a little problem, put it on AI, and end up with a big problem.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I've used AI to design building structures and solve engineering, like real world engineering challenges that I had with something that I built in construction. And
can I get some addresses? Go to.
So you don't want to visit?
Did it pass code? I mean,
well, no comment. I'm going to plead the 5th, Matt, which in the United States of America is the right to not incriminate myself.
Yes, that's true.
All right. Well, that's it for the security table, the original security table, almost, we could say, the OG security table for those people from the 90s who understand what that means. So go ahead, folks, watch Idiocracy, watch ER, have a great
listen to Pink Floyd The Wall.
Yeah, play Pink Floyd The Wall at various stages of this episode, because we don't have the budget to pay for it. Enjoy.
And keep your agents away from scissors.
Keep your agents away from scissors, and add the parental controls to your AI.
Yeah.